Hi, welcome to episode 2 of the Horror Hideaway. I'm Jay Severe. This is Nick Turnell. We're going to dissect and digest Thanksgiving 2023, a long-awaited slasher born of the John Carver myth and Plymouth Rock, the Mayflower, la-di-da. This is also born out of Grindhouse, the 2008 films, which Nick Turnell has something for us on that one. What do you think about the Grindhouse, Nick?
So the movie was based on a trailer in the Grindhouse movies. The Grindhouse movies are a double feature.
It was called The Grindhouse. Theaters that played back-to-back movies featuring uncensored sexuality and hardcore thrills. Now, Tarantino and Rodriguez are bringing The Grindhouse back.
To Planet Terror and what was the other one?
Death Proof, yeah, the car movie.
Yeah.
I love that one. Kurt Russell, watch that one.
Yeah, so it's a double feature that it's a little bit of an exploitation type of horror. You know anything about Eli Roth, he's kind of gory. So I know the only movie I really watched of his is Hostel. And I didn't like that one too much. I'm not a gore person. I'm more of a just fear person, but I don't like a lot of gore. So I know I was a little bit antsy going into this movie, wondering if it was going to be gory, but it was actually a little bit more on the Halloween or Scream side of movies than the gore side. So don't be scared to watch this one just because Eli Roth is attached to it. For my fellow horror buffs that are not gore people. So in the little Grindhouse movies, they have trailers. They had different trailers. Kind of like a commercial, kind of like you're watching TV at home and the commercials come on. So that's how the Grindhouse movies play out. And one of the trailers was called Thanksgiving. And it was a trailer for a horror movie coming out called Thanksgiving. And there's a scene in it with the parade. And someone dressed as a turkey gets killed. And
this holiday season, prepare to have the stuffing scared out of you. Thanksgiving. In the town of Plymouth, Massachusetts, the fourth Thursday in November is the most celebrated day of the year. The table is set. The festivities have begun. One uninvited guest has arrived, and this year, there will be no leftovers.
So apparently people have been calling for this trailer to be made into a full-length feature for years. And
I was one of those.
So finally Eli Roth decided to sit down and write a full feature movie and with the same kind of theme that was in there. And spoiler alert, that little kill that was in the trailer for the Thanksgiving Day parade, or well, was it the Thanksgiving Day parade?
It was the parade, yeah.
It was the parade, but it was like the Macy's one. But in the town, because it's Plymouth Rock, they have their own version of a Thanksgiving Day parade. They decided to do that in the real movie, and there's a kill scene, just like the one in the trailer.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty gory, and also for those of you who want to get Nick a very nice gift for Christmas, get her lots of blood and guts and just have it delivered to her doorstep. She'll be absolutely horrified and happy you did it.
No.
You're welcome. But yeah, the Grindhouse movies very much spawned this little movie here. It also takes excerpts from obviously Scream, which we're going to have a tie-in for that later. That's part of our hot take, actually, as well as a piece of the movie that I found very, very fascinating, which happened to do with our heroine of the story, Jessica, finding information and then giving it to the sheriff, who if you haven't seen the movie, he is the killer. It's one of the first times you see a sheriff as the killer in the movie. And she kind of gives him the rest of the pieces of the puzzle to kill more people, which you almost have to add her as an accessory, but more on that later. We'll jump into next our Spirit of the Night.
When darkness pours and the veil thins, it's time to raise a glass with the forgotten.
Share a drink, if you dare.
Welcome to Spirits of the Night, where every drink has a story, and some stories refuse to stay buried.
This one's actually called, get that up there, the Carver's Cranberry Cleaver. So this Thanksgiving slasher cocktail is inspired by the movie. The flavor profile is going to be a little dark, tart, autumn spice with a blood red finish and a smoky bite. Now, if you're Nick Turner, I'll explain that little change in a second. So the traditional one that I have made calls for 2 ounces of bourbon, which I myself added a little bit of wild turkey, if you know what I mean. Adds a little bit of spiced cranberry shrub or a little bit of cranberry juice with a splash of apple cider vinegar, if you prefer to do it that way. Maple syrup, and then, of course, a little bit of fresh lemon juice or lemonade, if you prefer it to be a little bit more sweet. You could add 2 to 3 dashes of smoked cinnamon bitters to it. I use Angostura bitters myself. It came out really nice. Has a little bit more of an orangey finish to it. And it looks a little like this. A little blood red. If you want to be fancy, you could put an orange twist in it, some cinnamon sticks. But I just prefer to have my drink like this. Nick's version, if you're not into bourbon, has a little bit of the goose, if you know what I mean. So if you prefer vodka, not as smoky, so has a nice finish. Cheers.
Cheers.
Episode number 2. That is delicious.
It's very good.
I do my best.
Has a good tart and sweetness to it. Not too sweet, not too tart. Very good.
And if you want a smoky profile, add the bourbon. You won't be disappointed. All right. So from there, we go into a little bit of history of Plymouth. So this story takes place on, for my history buffs out there, where the Mayflower landed, Plymouth Rock. So I don't know if you're aware, Nick, but John Carver, he was a deacon and also the first governor of Plymouth.
Right.
So pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Other things that I know that came up for Plymouth were they do that parade. That is a once-a-year thing there.
Mm-hmm.
We should definitely check it out one of these years. That'd be pretty interesting.
Right.
I double dare you to dress up as John Carver with an axe. We're going to try it. What do you think?
That might be a popular thing that goes on now. Who knows?
Yeah, everybody John Carver masks and
Yeah.
leaving around fake axes, hopefully fake axes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, to do a movie in the setting of New England and then take a slasher film. This was kind of like one of Eli Roth's babies, so to speak. He wanted to do a slasher film for a holiday that was a little lesser known, you know.
Growing up, I dreamed of writing a slasher movie that would be like Scream or Halloween. One of these guessing who the killer is, something that's incredibly scary, that's also fun with fantastic kills. And
oh my God.
This is it.
Cover that body!
You could have chose maybe to do Hanukkah or Passover. He went with Thanksgiving, which I think was a much better choice, to be honest with you. But the movie itself, I honestly liked a lot. There was a lot of great kills in it. There's a lot of fun dark humor, if you're into that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
What was some of your favorite dark humor, Nick, in that one?
Well, one's kind of a big spoiler, but I would say the end when they roast the stepmom.
Oh, yeah.
As the turkey. So in the beginning, they're having Thanksgiving dinner at their house in 2022, and they invite everyone over, and they have this big spread and this beautiful turkey. And because of what the stepmom does on Black Friday at their version of the Walmart,
Right, Mark.
Right, Mart. She gets targeted by the killer and is then stuffed into an oven to roast, turkey style, and is brought out in the table in front of the other guests that were implicit in the murders on Black Friday. Well, I wouldn't really call it murders, I guess more
Massacre.
Massacre,
Yeah.
but wasn't planned murders. But so she's brought out on the table and she looks like a turkey. Like
dinner is served.
the way he put her body, and she
I
was
think
like,
she even had on her feet the little white thing
yeah,
that you put on the bone of the turkey, which I
yeah,
thought was an interesting touch.
yeah.
Pretty wild.
It was very, very dark humor, but
Yeah. There's other parts to that setting too, like he has the cheerleader, the cheer wine, so to speak, and he pops open her jugular vein and takes
yeah.
wine. Yeah, he's a pretty sick dude, man. A lot of wild stuff going on there. But we'll dissect our favorite kills also a little bit later in the episode.
And that one's gonna come back because I think that one's my favorite kill, just because it's very memorable. So
It's very memorable. There are other ones that I will bring up, and I'll see if I can change Nick's mind a little bit. But that one is very good. If she wants to stick with it, that's
yeah,
totally
I'm
fine.
already gonna let you know I'm gonna stick with it, but I will listen to what your favorite kill is.
It's original. I mean, if you watch any other slasher films, whether it's Jason, Scream, Halloween, Black Christmas, Psycho, you don't have anyone being roasted and then being served up to the rest of the family. Maybe Leatherface tried it. I don't know, but he was more. I think it was beef, beef and steak, and yeah, we'll do Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
You never roasted them.
No,
You would just
butcher.
kill them and bring them out all bloodied and human.
He's a wild guy, man. Wild guy. But yeah, like I said, this film does take place in Plymouth, Massachusetts. One of the funny things I did find up digging about Plymouth, Massachusetts is it's actually a very large town. It's not considered a city, it's considered a town. It's actually 133 square miles. So for my geography nerds out there, that's actually almost triple the size of Boston, which is at 60 square miles. In comparison, New York City is 450, so that's huge, by the way. But yeah, that's pretty big for just a town itself. And there's a lot of jokes throughout the movie about Hanover. If you watch the movie and the accents, you'll see all the main characters have very normal accents, almost Californian, if you will. And then all the people from Hanover sound more like your people from Boston.
Oh yeah, why the fuck did they get in there first?
That's bullshit!
They're getting tips and all the good shit. Why are they getting all the Come on.
And throughout it, wouldn't be surprised if Mark Wahlberg made an appearance in there. We didn't realize it, using traditional.
I thought it was
Boston.
interesting if they showed the lower class or working class with the really thick Boston accent.
Yeah, definitely.
But all the more affluent kids and that lived in the affluent neighborhoods, they did not have an accent.
No, not at all.
Which, if they all lived together, they would still have an accent.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, it sounded like to me the Hanover school and then the Plymouth school, they were rival schools, at least for football. That's how it all kind of gets started in the very beginning of the Black Friday rush and starts the whole movie. You kind of hear them, all the people from Hanover. They literally sound like, those people from your traditional Boston accent movies, Whereas, as Nick's talking about the rest of them, they sound like, I guess, me,
They don't have an accent at all.
Not at all.
So
Yeah.
you wouldn't even know they're from that area of the country.
No, not at all. It's pretty weird, and it's a lighter thing that I would say slightly annoyed me, but I kind of got over it after a while. But it's kind of funny to watch, some of them yell at each other in that typical Boston accent. It does make you laugh after a little bit.
Yeah.
Some of the other dark humor kills that you did notice throughout the movie. So, as we talked about, Right Mart, that is the actual setting of where the original massacre starts for Black Friday. It's very much looks like a Walmart from 2008. We'll show a clip here in a second of them side by side, and you'll kind of notice they got really close to a copyright infringement here, but didn't quite get there, But one of the other things that I thought that was kind of fascinating with it, there is a kill in the very beginning of the movie with waitress. I think she's a waitress.
Yeah, she's a waitress at the diner. The
Yeah,
local diner.
Yeah.
She has an accent because, she's just the waitress at the local diner.
Right. But she seems to live in Plymouth from what it looks like, at least from what I can tell. Or maybe she's commuting from Hanover. We never really established that. But I think this one fascinated you for a different reason. So this is actually, I think, the first kill of the movie, if I remember correctly.
Right.
So she turns out the lights and then gets stopped.
Electricity is on. She had to turn off the lights, so electricity is on.
Right. So then obviously the John Carver killer at this point establishes himself in the diner, scares the heck out of the lady.
Yeah.
And then one thing that Nick actually noticed throughout the movie was the following.
Well, she runs into the office, must be the manager's office, and there's a desk, and there's a landline phone right there, and she's trying to work her phone, which had broken throughout the chase with the struggle with the John Carver. She's on there trying to get it to work, and there's literally a landline phone right there, and it's like, have we just completely forgot that we can still use landline phones? Like, a business would still have a landline phone.
Now, are we
She's
sure,
in the office.
now, are we sure she just wasn't panicking and she just wasn't even realizing the phone was like 2 feet right next to her that was working?
Oh no, I obviously she was panicking.
I think at that point she already did get cut up. Like, I think that was the part where he gets to her, he puts her face against the freezer. Part of her face kind of like melts with the freezer. It's pretty gross. And then I think she gets cut. I don't remember what happens, but she has blood over her hands and she's trying to fumble on the phone, unlock it. Can't unlock the phone.
Right.
And it just adds to the whole chase of it, and it makes it easier for Carver to go carve her up, basically.
Right. I mean, obviously she was panicking. Everyone would, but that shot, the way it was shot, they put that phone in the shot for a reason, so you would be like, wait, there's a landline right there. Stop fumbling with your phone and use the landline.
He was literally screaming at the TV. You know me, yeah.
So I was just like, oh my God, did we just not realize we can still use landline phones? But it's one of those things where it's like, if you were in that situation, what would you do? Would you be able to think clearly enough to use?
You know what I think would have happened? She would have forgotten that she had to dial 9 first to dial out and still would have died. That's probably why she didn't do it. I have a better chance unlocking this with my bloody stumps of hand before I try to dial 9 out of the office.
I do have trouble with those office phones sometimes.
Yeah. That could have been another thing. We don't really think about it too much, but those of you who have not used an office phone in a long time, would it be faster for you to go through your regular phone to call out, or would it be faster for you to use the office phone in an emergency?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't used one now since 2020, so
yeah,
it's been a while.
This is in 2022, 2023, so maybe she's just not used to using one of those. It's probably unfamiliar, and if you're in panic, you go for the first thing that's comfortable. That would be your cell phone, I would think. But either way, it ends in a pretty bad predicament for the waitress. Mm-hmm. He grabs her, tries to drown her. That doesn't work out. She gets away out to the alley, almost gets away. This is where the dark humor comes in. She tries to outrun a car and jump in a dumpster. And because she just misses it enough, he's able to catch up and nail her, ram her right into the dumpster. And she, Yahtzee split in two.
Yeah, that was a pretty bloody kill.
That was a bloody kill. Yeah. And then you remember what happened next? Where the body ended up?
Oh, yeah. So you put the body on top of the Right-Mart.
The SAR.
Like where the sign is.
Yeah.
So picture Walmart and the Walmart sign on the building, and then the body, just half the body.
Bottom half.
The bottom half of the body on the sign.
Now, this one ended up with a debate with us in the middle of the movie. So we were trying to figure out specifically how Carver got that body to the top of the building.
Yeah, my thought was, I don't care how dead it is. It's the
She's a bigger girl too.
The Right-Mart's on a kind of a busy street to get to Right-Mart, and it's a big town, like we said.
It's a commercial area.
There's cars probably driving past the store, and it's all lit up because the parking lot is all lit up, just like Walmart. Even if no one's there, the parking lot is still lit up. If he put a ladder on the outside to drag this big heavy body up to the sign and attach the sign, I was just wondering how nobody drove by and noticed this.
My theory.
And he noticed something.
Yeah. So if you watch the movie, there is no ladder. That was one of the biggest things we kind of debated. Like, where did he get a ladder from to take her all the way up there, hoist her by himself? Because we find out he's the only killer. He has no accomplices.
Without one person noticing.
One person noticing. There's probably parking lot cams. Somebody should have seen some weirdo in a John Carver mask dressed as a pilgrim hoisting up half of a body to star on Right-Mart. But they like to erase footage there. We'll get more on that one later. But there is a access wing inside of Right-Mart. They show it very briefly in the very beginning. There's a freight elevator and all this different stuff. So my thinking is, because the killer is the sheriff, he has very intimate knowledge of the Right-Mart, because in the very beginning, he knows the back way into there, and he gets the girlfriend and the wife of the other guy, Mitch, in there before the Black Friday chaos erupts. So it would probably not be inconceivable for him to literally drag the body, have it all in a bag or whatever the hell he did, drag it up a couple of flights of stairs, go to the top, drop the body on the star, and then presto chango, you have somebody hanging.
I changed my mind that he was probably right because they did show blood coming down the
dripping
top
down
from
right.
where the sign was.
Versus if he would have been doing it with a ladder, you'd probably see a streak of blood up the star and on. I don't know.
I mean,
he's not going to wipe it off.
It would have been dripping, so there would be blood all on the sidewalk.
Right.
Oh,
but you can see also, it's very quick, the shot. On the ledge on the very top of the roof, there is a little bit of blood. So I almost suggest that he put the body up there first and then slowly lowered it onto the star to make his statement or whatever. Price is half off. Literally. So, yeah.
I didn't think of that. Was that the symbolism in that?
Yeah, half off.
Because it was Black Friday when was his motive. Because, well, did we go into that?
We haven't got into that yet, no.
So we should probably get into that. So the whole motive for the kills was Black Friday. And I don't know, it's not that bad anymore, I don't think, because of Cyber Monday and all the online sales. But I don't know how many of you remember how back in the day, people would go and start waiting at 1, 2 in the morning for the Black Friday sales to get that 65-inch TV for $100.
Waffle maker.
That was pretty sad. But so in this movie, that's what happened. So they have this Thanksgiving dinner at actually the CEO of Brightmark at his house, and it shows like his new wife, who's kind of like a trophy wife, and then his teenage daughter who doesn't like the new wife, and then the sheriff comes because the sheriff must be friendly, like kind of like family friendly with this with the Brightmark owners, and so it's like. Then they show the manager of Brightmark is also at this Thanksgiving dinner. And then he gets a call and he is called in to manage Mitch to manage Black Friday because I guess the manager that was on duty couldn't make it, so he now has to go in. So he leaves to go manage the Black Friday. And then when he gets there, there's already like
it's a mob.
Hundreds of people waiting outside, and they're angry. They want to go in. There's like one security guard.
Open the door! They're gonna get crushed! Open it!
You have to open the door! You have to get the bitch! Hey, guys! You have to open the door!
Oh my god!
There's two.
Two.
We'll get into that too.
Two security guards just trying to maintain this craziness. So, he was the only manager too, which is insane. You would think
he's the only manager. He had a couple of cashiers. He had the 2 security guards, the hired help.
It kind of shows like real Walmart how that to save money they don't hire a lot of people and they can't handle the consumers they have sometimes because they'd rather save money. They don't want to pay employees. So that's kind of like
keep those prices down.
Yeah,
Colonel.
It's kind of also one of the things about this movie that they're trying to portray is greed, corporate greed. And how it can come at the cost of lives sometimes. So so now he's at Black Friday. He's trying to keep the people out there. He's not ready to open. That teenage daughter I talked about earlier, Jessica, her boyfriend comes with some friends. They want to go to a party. When they're going to the party, there was a girl whose phone broke, something with her phone.
Yeah, that was Yulia. I think her phone was busted, and then they needed to go fix it.
Go get a phone. So they're like, let's just go to Brightmark. And because Jessica's father's the CEO, they're like, oh, we can just go get in and get out. They don't have to wait with the Black Friday people because, they're special. So they go. And they go in, and then they start taunting the people outside that are waiting. Another thing...
No, they taunt specifically one group of people, which pisses off the rest of the crowd.
Well, yeah, but they're taunting that they got in.
They taunt the Hanover kids.
Right, but
the football
the other people waiting don't realize they're just taunting the football players.
Oh, no, it's a mob mentality. So if you piss off one person, that person gets angry, and it feeds into the rest of the people outside. And before you know it, you've got a angry mob ready to light torches to burn the place down to
Right.
get a free waffle maker.
Right, so that's what happened, is that they saw them taunting these kids, but they thought they were taunting them, like kind of rubbing in their face, look, we got in, we're binding. So they start screaming, how did they get in?
Yep.
We want to get in.
Yep.
And then of course, since there's 2 security guards and hundreds of them, they're able to rush past. They break the glass. Some guy doesn't even make it in the door because the glass gets him right in the throat right away.
Yeah.
And of course, instead of anyone caring, they just trample over.
Well, yeah, he's trying to run, so they break the glass. He's trying to run through. Somebody pushes him. His jugular literally hits the glass, and he just.
And then he's down, and they're just trampling over him. Yeah. Nobody cares.
They trample him, and they trample the security guard who's at the door.
Right.
Which was another big part of the whole movie and everything else too. But yeah, the whole scene is just mayhem. Like, you have people running over people, you have people starting fights, yelling, screaming, you name it. We'll get into the whole, like, the Black Friday and all of the missions that kind of spawned this movie and got Eli Roth to get off his rear end and start writing this shit, basically.
It really shows how humanity can be sometimes. How instead of having compassion for your fellow humans out there, to save some money on a waffle iron, you're gonna basically not care and trample people. I mean, they literally ripped the waffle iron out of a dying lady's hand because they realized she's dead. She's not gonna need it. I'm gonna take it and get my waffle iron.
Didn't the lady that gets murdered first?
Yeah, the dying
lady rips it out of the guy who got his jugular cut, if I remember correctly. He's bleeding to death. He can barely stand.
No, because I don't think he made it into the door. Because remember, he got killed right away.
No, there's 2 people. There's 2 different people. This guy, I remember, was bleeding from the neck, and he ended up just passing out, and she just rips it out of his hands at that point.
Well, whatever the case may be, my point is that
there is a guy with a bloody neck that gets to the door, but then he gets something, but then it doesn't last very long. Well, I think the person you remember under the door is the security guard getting trampled, which so the whole thing with the security guard, this ties into a real life Black Friday incident that I will get into later that is just so bad and so horrifying. And people may have known this one on the news or not. It happened now probably almost 20 years ago, but it just showed you like how crazy people got over this holiday. And thank heavens they went more with the online approach with Cyber Monday and early Black Friday and Black Friday during March and whatever else. And it's gotten a lot better, I would say. You don't hear about it as much anymore. It still happens from time to time. At least I didn't hear anything this Black Friday that I recall. Nothing came up on my news feed that, people stampeded to get, a free, what is that stupid monster? Labubu?
Oh, yeah.
You never know. They would have had half off.
I don't think that's going to be free, but yeah.
No, probably not, but you never know. But yeah, I mean, that's one thing we'll get into in a little bit. But one of the main things I think we wanted to kind of discuss next was the kills themselves. Well, no, we'll go to that in a second, but we wanted to talk more about the actual killer, the John Carver killer, who's established to be the sheriff. So there's a couple of moments throughout the movie where we're trying to really piece together how the sheriff, got to the point where he's at. So we've kind of established he's the killer in the movie.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things that obviously gets him is he was not able to stop that whole stampede. He was there, I believe, at the very end of the whole Black Friday rush. He's the one who fires the gun and gets everybody to stop.
Yeah.
And then it kind of goes into the opening cutscene.
Mm-hmm.
But he loses his child and the girlfriend, the girlfriend that was technically married to Mitch.
Yes, the girlfriend was married to Mitch, and she was bringing in food to her husband.
Right.
And we don't know this in the beginning of the movie. It is revealed at the end when the killers revealed it. She was having an affair with the sheriff, and she was also pregnant with the sheriff's baby. And this is what made him go on his killing spree, because he picked everyone that was complicit in her death.
Right, mainly the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, mainly the kids, and then anyone who's kind of involved starting the riot, which is kind of interesting too, which ties into the hot take for today. One of the things, at least, that always kind of weirded me out when we finally revealed that it's the sheriff. There is a point in the movie where he has the dinner scene. He has everybody lined up at dinner. This is after basically almost everyone in the main character area gets killed. He has everybody dressed up for dinner. And he's, doing his things and whatever. Jessica, our main character, she gets out and slips away. She basically has, I think it was a pocket knife the gun guy gives her. She picks it, gets out, runs off, well, beats him up a little bit, gets out, hops a fence, gets to the police station. And the John Carver killer misses her. Like, he's literally right at the fence, can't get to her, like, basically just misses her. He is able to get from there to the front of the police station area and make it look like he got his butt beat up by, remember he tries to pin it on the boyfriend, Bobby. His whole face is bloody, and it almost throws you off the scent completely in the movie.
Yeah.
And we were trying to figure out, how in the hell does he get back that quickly while she cuts through the woods, basically? Are the woods really like that much of a shortcut, or did Jessica take like the absolute long way back?
Right. I mean, but it's one of those things in horror movies actually,
Yeah.
where, it doesn't always make sense. Like,
It definitely doesn't.
The logistics, to do the movie, the logistics don't have to always make sense. Is
Hey,
the way it is.
I'll tell you, the first time I watched it, there were points where I thought McDreamy, for my Grey's Anatomy folks there, I really thought it was him. There's some weird things that he would say or would do, but I'm like, the sheriff, really? We always think it's the sheriff. Like, we think Dewey and Scream at one point is definitely the killer for some weird reason. They make fun of it in Scary Movie. But then this movie, they actually do it, which is crazy. But it throws you off to say, like, oh, he's right there, got beat up. It has to either be Bobby, the ex-boyfriend, or Ryan, the new boyfriend.
Yeah.
And tell me about what you thought about Ryan in the movie. The whole thing with him. You were talking about this during the movie too.
So with Ryan, I really thought he must be the killer because he never got attacked. He also had a big jealousy with the other football players, and even when he was trying to be their friend and he gave them the concert tickets,
Part of the group.
To be part of the group, I didn't know if that was sincere. I think he really did like Jessica, but I don't think he liked that crew. And I was like, well, it would make sense if he's attacking her friends and going after them. And you just never saw anything bad happen to him.
If you think about most killers, they try to isolate who they really want.
Yeah.
So it would make complete sense if Ryan was the killer in some alternate universe of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
He kills all of her friends, kills the ex-boyfriend, or maybe saves him for last to kind of prove a point.
I thought that he was setting up Bobby. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, definitely. There's a whole point throughout the movie, and even the sheriff admits it, that he is trying to set up Bobby as the killer. The second he came back into town, he really wanted to pin it on him.
And then Ryan just kind of disappears from the movie for a while.
He didn't come back to the end.
To the very end, you see him again, so I'm like, oh, he must be the killer.
Yeah, Bobby and him have that confrontation in the police scene. They all have that confrontation, who's the better boyfriend for Jessica and all this nonsense, and they push and shove or whatever. And then he disappears. He's never seen from again. And I remember they tried to figure out the whole thing with him and the security guard, the one that gets trampled, and their connection, so that turns into a whole big thing. And then, he disappears. He's gone. Like, we don't see Ryan ever again, basically.
Just
until
the very, very, very end.
Yeah, it's like, you think he's dead, you want to find his body somewhere, and nope.
Yeah,
so. Yeah, it was pretty wild. But, the other thing that was pretty interesting, and this is the big reveal part. So after all of that stuff happens, and we get to finally figure out who the killer is, this is when Jessica gets to the police station. She's giving her statement on everything that happened and how she got away. And you have the sheriff, you have the detective. I think you had somebody else there too, another cop or whatever. But they all leave to go, I forget what. But they leave the sheriff last with Jessica. And Jessica happens to notice the mud on his boots.
Right.
Yeah, she happens to catch that, and it's like a light bulb flashes in her head. And all the flashback scenes of don't trust anybody, and there's always little details that they screw up at the end. And what do you know? The sheriff made his own boo-boo. So she finally figures it out, and before that happens, he pulls the classic.
Get another beer, you want one? Yeah, sure. I'll be right back.
You know the words.
I'll be right back.
Yep. Famous last words, and he comes right back.
So he broke the rule, but we came up with a word called
the reverse victim rule. That is what it's called. Randy, you'll be impressed.
Because now we're wondering if you can say, I'll be right back when you're the killer. And if they come back, does that give you your clue now? That must be the killer because he said the words and he came back.
Now, a bit of trivia for you. Who was the very first killer to ever do this? We were just talking about it last week. Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Stu.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Oh, okay, I wasn't sure.
I thought it was a trick question.
No, not at all. I would never do that.
Because I was like, from Scream, we were just talking about.
Yeah, we were just talking about Scream, so yeah. Matthew Lillard, Stu, they pulled the classic. Well, he pulls the classic. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
And I
then
remember Randy.
comes back.
Yeah, Randy tells him, "I'll see you with your head in the ice maker later," or whatever. And then, we'll get into Scream another time, but we all know kind of what transpires after that.
Yeah.
So the sheriff finally at this point big reveal that, if she was just a half a step, off, he would have got to her before she jumped the fence and everything. Right. He was really trying hard to pin it on Bobby. They, miraculously save the day, burn him, blow him up and all that stuff and win, basically. That's how the movie kind of ends.
Right.
But yeah, this is the very first movie where you have the sheriff as the killer. And I'll be frank with you, I'm usually pretty good at figuring out in the slasher movies who the killer is. We'll talk about Hard Eyes at one point, but
that'll be Valentine's Day.
That'll be Valentine's Day. We'll recover that one again. Hard Eyes and Valentine and all that stuff. But I'm pretty good at dissecting who the potential killer is, and she hates it every single time. But this movie, I did not watch this with Nick Turnell, but I was confused. I literally thought it was Ryan the entire time. It was like, it has to be Ryan. He's disappeared. He hasn't shown up. And then when it's the sheriff, I was like, you got to be kidding me. That's the last person I always think is the sheriff.
I also thought it was Ryan.
Yeah. Ryan was it was too easy.
Sketchy and shady.
Oh, yeah, from the very beginning.
So,
very beginning.
He's definitely hiding something.
And they try so hard to make you believe it's Bobby, because Bobby turns up out of nowhere. And
I thought Bobby was the red herring. I was like, nope, they're setting him up too much.
Yeah, he was definitely the red herring, but sometimes they do the double red herring where they want you to think they're the red herring, but nope, you're wrong.
Right. Also, what do you think about them doing a sequel? They definitely set it up for a sequel.
Oh, it's already in pre-production. They're going to do it.
Right.
If you follow the movie at the very end of it, obviously there's a big explosion. You think sheriff is dead and all that stuff like that. But there's a part in the movie where you see all the firemen leaving and looking, for traces of the body. They don't find a body. And you get this glimpse of Jessica staring at this fireman with a mask on. You can't see the guy's face. Just walking out casually, and he's staring cold right at her.
Yeah.
Almost makes you wonder, is that him?
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely got one of those fireman suits and he just walked right out of there.
I mean, she even has a dream at the very end of the movie. She's laying there with Ryan and goes to I think it's her closet.
Yeah.
And it's just him. He's like in the closet on fire and he just grabs her, and that's how they kind of end the movie.
So, so definitely Thanksgiving 2 sounds like it'll be coming out soon. Maybe next Thanksgiving.
Maybe next Thanksgiving we'll be able to get it, so that'd be awesome. Well, we'll get into the fun part here. So, best kill. So, we have a couple of different ones. We obviously have Lizzie, who is the diner girl. She gets cut in half.
Mm-hmm.
That one is probably like my medium kill. It's kind of a shocker in the very first beginning of the movie.
Right.
It looks wild. She gets cut in half, and she gets half off prices at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
That one's probably like my top 5 for sure.
Right.
We then have Manny. Manny is the security guard. So remember, there are 2 security guards in the movie. The one gets trampled, the one that opens the door.
Right.
Manny is the bigger guy. He steps and walks away. He leaves before the rush even happens. He sees it before it happens, and he goes, "Nope, I'm good. I'm good."
Right. That's why he got murdered, because he wasn't there to protect everyone.
Yeah.
He walked away.
His kill is my favorite kill, and I'm going to explain why. So if you watch Carver in this one, he toys with him a little bit and whatever. You have the cat in the scene. Everything's for all my cat lovers out there. And doesn't kill the cat, which is very nice. Leaves the cat, feeds him, walks out. But Manny, man, does he do a number on that guy. So one thing that I did notice, Carver is shorter. So those of you who know Patrick Dempsey, he's not a very tall actor. He's pretty short. The Carver killer kind of is a little shorter too. Manny is a little on the taller side. He's probably, I'd say, at least, 5'9", 5'10", maybe 6 feet tall. Don't know exactly. We'll have to look up the actor, maybe even post. But there's a struggle between the two of them. Carver gets behind him. He whips out this metal rope. One of those one of those things. Gets behind him. They're literally head to head, back to back like that.
Yeah.
Whips it behind him and reverse pulls off his head. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. That's something you expect like a Michael Myers to be able to pull off, not a human being.
Right.
That was impressive to me. I was like, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting maybe him to choke him out, not cut his head clean off.
I mean, it makes sense he's the sheriff, though, because to be in law enforcement, you do have to go through a lot of training, a lot, like, a boot camp type thing. And,
Where was that at boot camp?
I mean, they don't teach that, but you have to have some kind of force. And
I'm sure they do, but man, there was a lot of pent up anger to pull that one off. He really wanted to get that guy. That's how I looked at it. Back to blue, that's all I'm going to say. All right, next one on there. Oh, that's my favorite kill, Manny, by far. It's the hardest one to do.
I still stand by it because it was very memorable and shocking.
Yeah. So we have the Hanover kids. So before we get to them and that kill, so these two that get murdered next in the movie. So, but between the murder of Manny, the security guard, and the Hanover kids, Jessica at this point is feeling a lot of remorse and a lot of guilt over the stampede on Black Friday.
Right.
There is obviously the John Carver killer has some of the video because one of her friends, I forget the guy's name, he videoed all of it as it was going on. So he gets bits and pieces of it. But remarkably, the actual store security footage was deleted, and your favorite kill deleted that. That's what gets her killed. The way she gets killed. But that footage is deleted. Jessica, trying to do the right thing, breaks into her dad's office, gets the real footage, turns it over to the sheriff. At this point, not knowing he's the actual killer and starting all this stuff, and she even outs a few people. She outs those Hanover kids. She outs the guy who's the turkey, gets his head cut off or whatever, as all people complicit in starting the riot itself. They even mentioned Ryan in there too, and Ryan gets away scot-free, of course, because he's just there, but doesn't do anything. So, remarkably, this is my hot take. Can we say Bobby and Jessica are accomplices in the murders of those people?
Yeah, I would say they are, but not
after the fact.
Not knowingly they are.
Yeah, unbeknownst, they turned over footage. But to be fair, it's kind of a weird predicament because they do turn it over to the police, not knowing that the police are actually the murderer in this situation.
They thought they were doing the right thing, and they obviously
But in the court of guilt, in your own personal moral guilt, now knowing that you've done that, can you ever live with yourself?
No, probably not. But I mean, it's one of those things where what else would you have done?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna try to help, you're going to go to the cops. I mean, who else are you going to go to?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, and he's the sheriff. It's not even like she just went to the wrong deputy or the wrong detective.
Yeah.
She went to the sheriff. I mean, that's...
Even if she does give the video to the detective, per se. I forget the detective's name. But he has an obligation to share the information with the sheriff anyway, so he would still find out. But then we'd have the detective you're talking about as, complicit in murders of at least 3 people. So it is my hot take. I mean, it's kind of rough to do that. You think you're doing the right thing, but in the sense you are doing the wrong thing when you're doing the right thing. What do you do in that situation? And I kind of have to agree. You're doing the right thing. There's no way you would think that the actual sheriff was involved here. But here's my 180 for you. He was there also, the sheriff, during the riots.
Yeah, but I don't think he was actually paying attention to who was doing what because
No, he wasn't.
He was too concerned with trying to save his girlfriend / affair partner.
Yeah.
And
his mistress.
His mistress, and when she got killed, then he was overcome with grief. So I don't think that he was able to pay attention to what was going on because he was concerned about what was happening to his mistress, affair partner, however you want to label her. And then after she started bleeding out and dying, he was overcome with grief, so he wasn't really paying attention to who was doing what. And
No, he wasn't.
so
But
it wasn't until he got that video that he knew who was exactly complicit.
He I remember he fired the gun. He was trying to just figure out anything to shield. I think he was shielding her at one point or told her to go somewhere, but she ends up getting run over by like a shopping cart, and it's just a mess.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to bring up, this could also be part of the hot take too. He gets there when the rioters are there. You can see how many people are there, how agitated they're getting, when he's even inside, how agitated they are.
Right.
Why did he radio for backup? He's clearly not the only cop in town.
I mean, a hot take could be that maybe he should have been on his own list of people that are complicit in.
He should have done suicide, yeah.
Because if he had brought in backup, and there should definitely have been backup when he saw how agitated everyone was, he should have radioed in more cops. So yeah, maybe he should have been on his own list because he's not exactly guilt-free either.
I'll play devil's advocate for a moment. The only saving grace he may have, and still then, you radio in. Right Mart's probably the biggest store in that 133 square miles. We're going to say that's how large Plymouth is for the movie's sake.
Yeah.
Are maybe other deputies covering Target or whatever it's called, Bullseye, whatever, for the movie, or Right By, which is the Best Buy, because Black Friday is a menace no matter what.
I'm sure they have to cover all the stores doing it,
so maybe they were spread too thin.
I mean, it is a bigger town. It should have a bigger police force, and
it's an Angle and Eli Roth movie that never got explored.
And that should definitely be a day that every cop is all hands on.
All hands on deck, yeah. I definitely agree. But yeah, no, definitely grief-stricken. It definitely, had a lot of causality in all of that.
Right.
But we're going to get into reality bites here a little bit, so...
Sink your teeth in as we reveal the real events and unsettling truths that inspired tonight's tale. Because in the end, reality bites harder.
One of the major things, the themes of the movie, obviously, is Black Friday. We keep bringing that up a lot. But this movie ties into a very, very real story that involves Walmart, of all places. So, in 2008, there was a death of a Walmart employee, and it changed Black Friday shopping probably forever, because we don't really see it that much. But it happened on November 28th. It was a crowd of shoppers, Green Acres Mall of Valley Stream, New York. So, basically, they broke through sliding glass, double pane doors, and they trampled over a 34-year-old employee.
A day after a worker was trampled to death by an early morning Black Friday stampede inside this Long Island Walmart, people are wondering just how a post-holiday hunt for bargains could cost someone their life.
It was just total mayhem.
This woman was inside the store. She says the 34-year-old worker could not survive the crush of humanity when the pre-dawn blitz line made its way through the doors.
He was trying to control the crowd. No use. They just pushed on him.
That employee fell to the floor, was stepped on by hundreds of people before help could get to him.
Police say the crowd even jostled first responders as they attempted to revive Dimithai Damore, who was pronounced dead at the hospital about an hour later.
But ironically, so if we remember the security guard in the movie, how would you describe his build from what you remember? That security guard.
He was a bigger guy.
Was he? I thought he was small.
The one, Manny?
No, not Manny. The guy that gets trampled.
Oh, the guy that gets trampled. No, he was a tinier guy.
Right. So, a little bit of a different here for Reality Bites. Damore was 6'5", 270 pounds. So, I'm about 6'1", bit more weight on me than 270. But I would find it very hard to get trampled. But then again, I've never really witnessed something to this degree. I've been in a few Black Fridays. I'll cover that in a second. But to have that many people trample a guy that's that big and not notice it, that is just so shameful and deplorable. And my heart goes out to the Damore family over that. And I can't even imagine a situation like that. It's just terrible, to be honest with you. So, but if you really pay attention to Thanksgiving and Black Friday, I would say this specific thing, and Eli Roth says it. He literally got the idea from watching viral videos of Black Friday madness, and I'm pretty sure this was in there.
Right.
And the whole trampling thing is just, it's sad. Like, cherish your loved ones, that kind of thing. Like, no one should have to fight over a waffle iron just because it happens to be 60% off on one day a year.
I didn't even think they were that cheap when it was like $29.99 for the waffle iron. I'm like,
oh, cool! You get it for what, $14.99?
oh, it was the sale price. I think that's why I was like, $29.99 doesn't seem like a deal for the waffle iron.
Oh, really? No.
Not to be trampling people over.
I mean, I know you haven't worked like a Black Friday retail from whatever. I know you worked Macy's, but I think you said you never
I left before Black Friday.
Yeah.
And I didn't even work there a year, so yeah, retail was not my thing.
Yeah, you did the restaurant thing, and I think you said you guys got lucky.
We weren't near any retail stores, so we were pretty dead Black Friday. I used to get cut pretty early, unless I was a closer, but if I was one of the first ones in, I was like out by 8 because we were so slow. But I know the restaurants around the malls or any like Walmarts or anything like that were usually packed because people are going to go shopping and then get something to eat close by. They're not going to usually drive out far unless they really, really, really were craving that place.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately for me, I did work retail as a cashier, salesperson, manager, various retail stores, and I can definitely say whether it was working at a big box retail store or even a smaller retail store, I dreaded that day. There was even a point where I had to go in Thanksgiving evening to go deal with Black Friday. So literally rush, eat your food, be at the store at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Just, to deal with a couple hundred people who really just wanted to get some early Black Friday sales. That was a thing for a little bit too. That was kind of sad, but
yeah.
I don't miss it. At this point, there's just, to me, putting a price on people versus objects, merchandise, things. This is our final nail here, but you really got to do better at taking care of yourselves. I mean, that's just me. If you're really that much into getting a 60% off on a toaster oven or half off on a TV because it's one day a year you can get all that, I don't agree with it. I never have. I've never shopped at a Black Friday. I probably never would participate in something like that.
I never have either. I was never a Black Friday person. My name is Nocturnal for a reason. I am a night owl. I was definitely not getting up at the crack of dawn to go stand in a line for a TV.
You would be up though.
No,
She is up at 3 a.m.
I would be probably going to sleep at that time, though. I'd need to go to sleep. I wouldn't be able to stay up all day. So, no, not for me. I love to eat myself to death on Thanksgiving and drink a lot of wine and then basically spend the whole next day lounging around and watching movies. I am not trying to go shopping. That's why I love now that they have Cyber Monday because you can get the same kind of deals now online. From your living room,
I literally put it in my
pajamas.
Cart Black Friday or Thanksgiving. I put stuff in my cart and I wait to see what it is on Monday morning.
Yeah. So, not for me. I've never been Black Friday person, so.
You ever been around somebody who boasted that they got all these different things on Black Friday?
Oh, yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm just like, the TVs, they might be super cheap, but they also are made really cheap. And I think
there's the worst TVs usually.
Yeah, and there's so many deals and sales leading up to Christmas that I don't just see the point. I don't really see the point.
No.
But
usually what happens, and I've seen this madness too when the new Jordans drop. I think that's still a thing where Foot Locker champs, they drop like the newest, Jordan 23s or whatever it is.
iPhone's the same thing. People have to be the first in line for it.
I know that one all too well working though. So once upon a time, those of you who do remember, AT&T had a corner of the market with the iPhone. So if you worked at an AT&T store, you were getting up pretty early and decorating and getting ready for people outside ready to get the next iPhone.
Right.
Just so I think it's made me, and Nick accuses me of this all the time, I don't own an iPhone. I might not ever. Just from working those things. But just in general, I mean, kind of wrapping things up here, just take better care of each other when it comes to stuff like this. Holidays are meant to be spent cherishing your loved ones, not standing in line.
That's the ironic part too, is you're supposed to spend Thursday, Thanksgiving, thankful for everything you have and your family, and then the next day you're trampling people to get a TV half off.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
No.
But I think that about covers our takes on Thanksgiving. Great movie. Can't wait to see the sequel. Eli Roth, get that one to post as soon as you can. I can't wait to watch it. But that's it from us here at the Hideaway. We're closing our doors. We'll see you in a few weeks. We'll be covering Black Christmas, one of Nick Turtle's very favorites. I think it's what we called it, the inspiration for John Carpenter's Halloween part of it. We will delve into that one very, very soon. So if you do enjoy our little podcast here, like and subscribe, whether you're on YouTube, RSS feeds, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're on all of it. Thank you guys, who've been supporting us, from the start of this. We look forward to doing more of these in the upcoming weeks, and thank you for everything.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Look forward to going over Black Christmas with you. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving, and we'll see you at Christmas time.
Ciao.
Bye.